What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Hanging Heavy. Now, I know it's with a sad heart that I bring today's episode with nobody. Hey, how the fuck did you guys know to get mad before I even said the fucking news? It's like, this shit is scripted? Nah, I couldn't do that to you. So yeah, today I don't have anybody in studio or via satellite, so I'm gonna fucking rage it. And right before I started recording, I had myself a brew, and I went for something different today. I'm gonna go ahead and give them a free shout out, because um there's nobody here that sponsors your boy. And for those of you repeat offenders, you know this is not a sponsor music. So today I'm drinking from the Real Ale Brewing Company, located in Blanco, Texas. Ooh, I said that real white boy. Blanco, Texas. Blanco, Texas. For my Hispanic people. So yeah, it's a seasonal release that I picked up from my local place, and it is let me go ahead and read this, make sure I say it right. It is a coffee porter brewed with Cat's Coffee. It's 12 fluid ounces, unfiltered, only in Texas, unpasteurized. So I'm gonna get the motherfucking real ale virus tomorrow. For those of you paying attention, that's a coronavirus joke. Let me go ahead and cut this fucking music. So yeah, it's a Real Ale Brewing Company from Blanco, Texas. It's a coffee porter seasonal release, brewed with Cat's Coffee. I had one, and I had it with my last Corona cigar. Corona's the size and shape. Uh, I've uh, I've been I guess learning more and more about cigars. It's a hobby of mine. You don't inhale, Clinton. Shout out to Bill Clinton. Oh, come on, guys. That joke was stupid. Oh, come on. All right. I'll take it. Whatever. Uh, I'm lonely. I'm a lonely, lonely boy. Uh, so yeah, let me go ahead and read the back of the bottle. It says, "Working in the hill country from a foundation of time-honored brewing tradition, Real Ale believes minimal processing produces maximum flavor." And yeah, it says, I guess this company was established in 1996. Ooh, it's a great vintage. Mwah. And on the ring of the neck, it says, "A dark malty porter with sublime coffee notes, brewed with direct trade beans from Cat's Coffee." So I guess that means there was no children harmed in the gathering of said beans. Um, that's cool, I guess. Humanitarianism, getting drunk. So yeah, I had one with my last Corona cigar, and those were Arturo Fuentes cigars. I don't remember exactly which one, but those were my beginner cigars, and that was the last one that I had in my humidor. And it actually paired well. The cigar is real peppery. It's kind of bright on the front. I mean, I'm not an aficionado. I don't think I should be fucking trying to give my 2 cents. But for those of you looking to get into smoking cigars, go with the Coronas. They're cheaper, and I mean they're easier to smoke. They're 20, 30 minute smoke. Those Arturo Fuentes are heavy smoked. They're medium flavor. They're They're no Robusto. Uh, they're a good entryway into the cigar world. And that was my last one, and it paired well with this coffee porter. This coffee porter was smooth, and it paired well with the peppery notes of that cigar. And uh, all in all, out of 10, I would give that a solid 7. I'd If I had another one, I would save one of these beers to smoke that cigar with. Um, so I have gotten on to some a little a little bit bigger boy. I want to call them the bigger boys. I don't. They're I think Maduros, the size of the cigars that I'm smoking now, and they're from my favorite new cigar that I picked up. I've already had a couple of them. I have 3 in my humidor aging, and I had 2 within the last month, and those were from Rocky Estate. Or hold on, Rocky Patel. Yeah, they're a Rocky Patel 1992 vintage, and those are mwah, mwah. Now for me, those are like a 45-minute smoke, almost an hour. So if you got nothing to do, fucking, you're gonna be burning some time burning that stick, you know. Um, and apparently those are like pretty solid cigars. Every time I pick up a cigar, I do some research on it before I buy one. Especially those because they're $10 a stick. The Coronas were $5. I mean, but literally it's almost fucking a third of the Robusto. So yeah, I mean you get more for your buck, but I mean the flavor's also there. The profile's way smoother. The flavors are more complex. There's some leather notes in there, and there's less of that peppery bite up front. And as you, I guess, smoke it, it changes flavors. So there's a little vanilla, a little bit of caramel. This fucking asshole.
God dang it, Bobby!
So yeah, I mean that's a little hobby that makes me feel fancy. I don't know, cigars. That's basically a fucking waste of money. I mean, it's a waste of money, but it's interesting how something as simple as a cigar or cigarette can alter the flavors of things you're fucking drinking or eating. Now, with cheap cigarettes, I mean they're mostly chemically laced and they're cheap tobacco. So, I mean they just fucking muddle your senses. I mean you don't taste very much after you smoke that shit. It's all over your clothes and hands. And I had a cigar, and my hand is mildly scented. I mean I held that bitch for about 30 minutes. And I think with one fucking washing with mild soap, I'll wash the smell off of my hands. So that's cool. They're cleaner. I mean, they're more pure tobacco. They're not filler. They're actual leaf tobacco, and that's what makes them cost more. Because I mean, whole leaf tobacco is it's better for you because there's no chemical traces in it. Versus, I mean, from what's in it, you know. I mean, there's nicotine and shit in it, and after smoking one of those, I do get a little buzz, and that's with not even inhaling it. That's just uh, kissing it, just the tip, you know, just the tip, and that's just I use it to enhance my drinks, and I'm a whiskey drinker, so I mean cigars obviously go with whiskey and bourbon and shit like that, you know. So I mean it's I'm trying to sophisticate my palate, and like I said, it makes me feel real fancy to smoke a cigar. Like that's a fucking man of leisure smoking a cigar. When I go to the place that I get my cigars, it's a liquor store, but they have a humidor, and that's fucking cool. And they have a pretty decent selection. I mean, for the most part, it's more bottom end, entry level shit, and I mean that's exactly what I'm looking for. So when my palate does evolve to where I'll understand and appreciate the good shit, I'll just order it, you know? I'll take the reviewers and all the comments and I guess other reviews more enlightened because I know more about the topic myself. You know, I mean, it's good to educate yourself in any hobby or any skill that you want to pick up or whatever. But I mean, going to pick up the cigars, I feel fucking manly. Like, I don't know, like, there's something fucking super masculine about going and fucking picking up cigars. Like, how fucking boss does that look? Sometimes I buy 2 or 3. The last time I went, I bought 4, and that's the most I bought at one time. And there were 2 of Rocky Patel's 15-year anniversary vintage, and there were 2 of Drew Estates. Fuck, I don't remember exactly what that one was, but Drew Estates is also a very well-known name in the cigar making industry. So I'll take their word for it. Just the pedigree of the name itself. Now, I'm not sponsored by any of these cigar companies. I'm just, if you're interested, I'm just giving you the knowledge that I've gained myself. Like I said, if there's anything you're interested in, there's a fuck ton of information for it, about it, related, anything to it on the internet. So fucking, yeah, I don't know. Just, I feel fancy when I smoke them. I personally have a smoking hat, and it's a captain's hat that I fucking, that I ordered. I mean, I wanted a fancy one, but I'm not going to shell out $80 to $100 for a fucking hat. A lot of people like to smoke in a smoker's jacket, but I wear my captain's hat, and I'm Captain Daddy. So, I guess, moving on from that, let me pull up something. I have a fuck ton of notes saved. I took my son to the carnival today. And people watching, it's a interesting hobby. I've done it since I was like 15, so I'm an expert in the field at picking out the stragglers and the unique visions. I don't know what you could call them, but yeah. Let me take a sip. I'm getting a little thirsty, and I'll get right back into that. Rich and rare. And I'm back. Okay, so in my people watching adventure excursion, at one point there was this fucking like stupid float boat ride. It's basically bumper cars in a fucking above ground swimming pool, and it's pretty big. But I mean, these bumper cars are again pretty big. So I mean, you can only, honestly, there should only be like 4, but they have maybe 10 of them in there, and like, you can only go so far until you're gonna fucking bump into some other idiot on a stupid float boat or whatever. My son wanted to get in it, so while he's in his like 5 minutes of whatever time, I noticed this pair of kids in another boat raft fucking thing, whatever, and these kids were being fucking assholes. Like, these things look like they're super easy to tip, and these kids are like fucking climbing around the boat and shit, scooping up water and shit. One kid was wearing a jacket or a hoodie sweater thing, and he was like splashing water off the side. Fucking half of his arm was soaked in water. You idiots! And they were literally just fucking monkeying around this boat. And the entire time I was like, please, fucking one of you fall in the fucking drink. Please. Please. And I guess the carny, I don't know if that's a derogatory term, the carnival worker, I guess he noticed these kids were being fucking assholes, and he kind of like just kept an eye on them and shit. And this is when I noticed his parents calling out to him, and the mother was, I mean, run-of-the-mill fucking Hispanic mother, right? Nothing too out of the norm there. But the daddy, whew, the daddy. Now, I have tattoos myself. I have nothing against people with tattoos or even people that are fucking heavily tattooed. I don't give a shit. I mean, fuck, I have stupid tattoos. I mean, do whatever the fuck you want. It's your body, right? Well, this dude took it a step too far. Now the trend with fucking the youth and the SoundCloud rappers, they look like fucking the detention desk in high school that was all fucking scribbled on and carved into and shit on their face. And this dude was I'm pretty sure he's not a SoundCloud rapper. And I was moving around so that I could go to the exit to pick up my kid, and I bumped into the lady, and like we kind of like did that weird dance where like I'm gonna go to the left and then you go to the left and then I'm gonna go around because you went to the left to the right and then you shift to the right. We did that a couple times, and I just stood still and said, "Oh, go ahead." Like, sorry. I mean, she had a stroller and shit. So I mean, I stood still and I mean let her fucking choose which way she wanted to go, right? Uh, and then like the guy followed behind her, and I saw the tattoos on his arms because he was holding the baby, I guess, that goes in said stroller. And I was like, oh, cool, whatever. Fucking let me get out of this dude's way because he's fucking lugging a 30-pound sack of potatoes. And like I saw his arms, right? Okay, cool, whatever. And then I looked up at his face, and this motherfucker had that fucking old school lowrider like clown paint on his face, like I don't know, the like the fucking happy clown, sad clown shit that they used to do on those white masks in lowrider imagery back in the 90s. And I was like, oh, your fucking life is full of regret.
You stupid idiot!
Well, yeah, those dumbass kids belong to this dumbass that clearly makes bad decisions in life. So I was like, oh, that makes sense. Uh, what the fuck?
Unforgivable.
Yeah. That was one. We took him to eat pizza afterwards. And fucking the one thing that really bugs me, I don't know if it's just me, but I fucking hate seeing people eat. Now, the sounds gross me out a little bit, right? But I mean, not to the point to where I'm like, hey, fucking, I can't eat because like the sound is so disgusting or whatever. For me, it's more of watching people eat that fucking bugs me. And there was a family uh, next to us at a table, and the mother of the kids was looking around for her kids, and every time she turned around, she was. So look, this is literally the sound that I pictured every time she would fucking look around. Where is it? Where is it? This. She wasn't a fat lady, right? So she was just a fucking open mouth chewer. What the fuck is wrong with you people? You're in fucking public. Close your fucking mouth. What the fuck? Like, who raised you to fucking eat like that? I don't know. That just I hate watching people eat. Like the way their lips smack and the way they fucking masticate. Like it doesn't gross me out. It makes me mad when I see somebody that eats weird. But for all you open mouth chewers, shut your fucking mouth. Jesus fucking Christ, man. And I guess like since we went afterwards, and I mean we were just surrounded by kids. I feel bad. Like I don't know if this makes me an asshole. I'm not the fucking greatest looking person. I know what I am and I know what I have. I'm realistic about it, and I feel bad for fugly kids. Like it's not their fault they were born fucking like mutants. It's the fact that their ugly fucking parents decided to get together and make the worst fucking genetic fucking gene pool and fuck their kid up for life. Like I saw this little girl, she was probably 12, 13, and she looked like a fucking goblin. There was nothing wrong with her. She was normal, right? Like she didn't have any kind of fucking syndrome or fucking anything that I could tell. She looked completely 100% healthy, normal, right? But she looked like a fucking goblin. Like her nose was almost pointy, kind of smushed into her face. She had a weird elongated pointy chin, and she had fucking like a I want to say like a pointy head, but it sloped back, and she had fucking little ears that stuck out from the sides of her head because she had her hair in a ponytail. And I don't know, like I saw her and I was like, ugh. Immediately my thoughts was, damn, this bitch needs to go back under the bridge. And after that thought, I thought, wow, how fucking asshole are you to be shitting on these little kids? Like, it's not their fault. Blame the parents, and their parents were fucking monsters of people. Obviously. I don't know, like, that sucks for them. Like, kids that are born with fucking cancer and shit like that sucks. Like, you were dealt a shit hand. And, what the fuck can you do about it? She has a great personality, I bet.
Dip, 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 dip.
God. For all of you that were fugly kids and grew up somewhat normal looking, this is for you. I was a cute kid, and I'm not fucking hideous by any means. I'm no fucking 8 or 9 in the looks department, but I would say I'm a solid 5, solid 6, maybe. If I lost some weight, I'd probably be a 6 or 7, but you know what? I have no fucking willpower.
God dang it, Bobby.
And, yeah. Oh, fuck, man. I wish fucking Carlton was here because I made a special button on my soundboard just for him. I mean, for those of you that listen to the episode, you know what I'm talking about. And I'm just gonna play that quick little snippet. I made a ringtone, and I cut it so that it's like a perfect loop. But just is the segment that I'm gonna keep on my soundboard. So if you've heard it and you know what this is, you're the real MVP. I'm not gonna get hit with a YouTube copyright strike or claim. That's not enough time for them to figure it out. I'm gonna keep playing it. So yeah, shout out to you, the people that know what that is. I guess taking it back to food, I kind of want to keep today's episode simple. I'm gonna keep all my topics for when I have a guest, because some of the stuff is better bounced off of somebody else versus me just reading straight up facts and articles verbatim, or not verbatim, but I mean my take on the article after I read it, whatever. But yeah, I guess with food, I'm gonna have this disgusting sound playing in the background. So sorry, not sorry. But yeah, fucking, you know how fucking amazing I've come to learn something so simple, but it's so fucking delicious. Buttered bread. Now, when I make spaghetti, I like to make my own toast. And what I do is I take bread that is straight off the loaf, you know. I don't do anything. I don't toast it beforehand or whatever. I put a thin coat of butter on front and back. Put it on a baking sheet, cookie sheet, whatever you want to call it, lined with foil, so you don't have to clean. Shout out to those life hack enthusiasts. Fuck, that's getting distracted. Let me turn that off. Excuse me. But yeah, fucking lightly butter both sides. Put the oven on at I would say 375, and slowly toast them bitches. Now, what you're thinking is, oh, the bread's gonna get soggy, because after you butter bread from the toaster, the bread gets soggy after a while. the butter melts. And see, that's why the oven is key. When you're fucking toasting this bitch in the oven, you're using that convection heat. You're moving that air around, uh, and that helps dry. So what? After about 15 minutes, you check it, and depending on your oven and its settings, you'll want to flip the bread and keep it going until it's a nice golden brown. And doing it in the oven in this fashion makes it almost like a crouton. Uh, for those Mexican listeners or people in Latin America, it's known as pan tostado. A company named Bimbo, a little white bear with a chef hat. They make a version of it, but it has like some frosting or some bullshit on it. Now, if you do this, trust me, you will not regret it. It's better than garlic toast or bread. Um, and if you don't, if you have fucking garlic butter, then I mean, by all means, go ahead. Or if you know how to make your own, do that. I ain't stopping you. But fucking just classic buttered toast in this fashion, it's so good. I could probably sell this shit. Like I've perfected it to where like I know that it's gonna come out good every time, and it always does. So I mean, I don't know why this shit just goes so good with spaghetti. Oh, I'd like me some butter sketty. uh, yeah, fucking butter toast. For those of you that grew up watching Ed, and Eddie, butter toast. Butter toast is fucking bomb. And I guess even sandwiches that are toasted are better than just fucking raw bread. Or not raw, but I mean uncooked bread straight out of the bag or the package, whatever. Uh, I had some BLTs. For those of you that are vegan or vegetarian, you might want to skip maybe a minute or two. But a BLT in the sandwich biz is what is known as a bacon, lettuce, and tomato. Three simple ingredients. And the way I make mine, you fucking toss some slices of bread in the toaster, get a nice little golden color, even a little bit of brown. I like my toast a little past golden, a little darker color, not burnt by any means, because fucking nobody likes burnt toast. If you ever burn toast, just fucking throw that shit away. And if you ever fucking burn a whole pan of fucking toast, throw that shit out the window. Let the birds eat it. It's for the birds. Anyway, fucking toast that fucking bread. Once the toast is done and your bacon is crisp, or I mean, some people like soggy bacon. There's nothing wrong with that. Bacon is fucking delicious, regardless in the way it's served. Crispy bacon works better in BLTs, but that's just a texture thing. But yeah, just slightly put a thin coat of mayo. I kind of don't like mayo. It's good on sandwiches, and that's the only time I'll eat it. I've kind of heard that there's a revelation of eating French fries with mayo, and apparently that's fucking like God's jism. But I just don't like mayo by itself. It smells gross. I'm a man, so I produce a fluid that looks almost like mayo if you're dehydrated enough. Ew, fuck. Sorry about that. Jism. And yeah, so just a thin coat and get some fucking crispy lettuce. Slice those tomatoes ever so thin. I mean, not paper thin, and not thin enough to where you won't taste it, and just thick enough to where you get a little bit of juice, a little bit of flavor. Take 2 or 3 slices of that bacon, rip them in half, and just put a nice little layer of bacon. The way I do it, I put lettuce on one slice and tomatoes on the other, and bacon in between. And oh my god, it's just like,
Oh yeah!
that's another new button. I don't know, just the simplicity and fucking orgasmic flavor that BLTs produce. Just fuck. I mean, you can't go wrong with a nice BLT. Like, I was in a bad mood when I made these BLTs, and after I had one, I felt fucking better. My spirits were up, and I was just walking around.
Oh yeah.
I'm already hitting that 30-minute mark, so I guess I'll cut it there. Hopefully, getting a little personal or more one-on-one with me today was a nice change of pace. Tomorrow night is a Saturday, and tomorrow night is the Tyson Fury Deontay Wilder rematch. And I was planning on recording that night, but nobody's going to be able to join me, and kind of last minute decided to record Friday night. So I kept up with the schedule, and honestly, Tyson Fury's going to win, so what the fuck. Whatever. Deontay Wilder gave him his fucking hardest bombs. He's the bronze bomber. He gave him his hardest hits. He knocked him down. But the Gypsy King rose to occasion, and he didn't get knocked out. He actually ended up coming back and even stunning the bronze bomber a little bit. Almost took the round, but I mean, a knockdown is a knockdown in a 12-round fight. And if there's only one knockdown, they're obviously going to favor the knockdown. So there's nothing wrong with that. That's boxing. It's a sport. It's a chess match. There's a lot of smarts that goes into sport to fucking boxing. It's not just fighting. There's skill involved. Like, love him or hate him, Mayweather was a chess master. He was Bobby Fischer. He knew what it took to win rounds, and he did what he had to do to not fucking make himself any dumber than he already was. I guess that's it for my sports section, so let's go ahead and cut that. So yeah, I appreciate you guys that stayed with me. I forgot to call the vegans back, but whatever, that's cool. They can stay gone. Yeah, as always, I'm your boy Desecrator. You can find the podcast everywhere podcasts are found. Apple Podcasts, the Google Play store, or the Google Store. I don't even know what the fuck it's called anymore. Google's always switching their shit up. You can find it at the website hangingheavy.podbean.com, and you can also go to YouTube and search in Hanging Heavy Podcast. I need 100 subscribers to get my own username, so that it's not a fucking can of alphabet soup. And maybe one day I'll get there, but I don't have a street team. I don't do social media, and that's a personal flaw on my behalf. But guess what? Rich and rare.